What's up? It's Burst, and today we've got MDL Season 4, Week 2. I know it's slightly out of order because Week 1 um, isn't uploaded yet. I just moved into my apartment for the spring semester, so I'm just a little bit busy, and I was all packing up and yada 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 for when I played Raz Week 1. Raz is new for MDL, but not very new to this channel, as many of you will know. Um, we're playing Tay today. I have not played Tay since the cross division part of season 2, and we see um Jirachi, Dragonite, Tangrowth, Volcarona, Luxray, and Tapu Fini on his side. Where on my side I have Fatui the Aromatisse, Great Barrier, the Kingdra, Distinguished, the Landorus, Honse, the Horse, Magmar the Magmar. Why didn't oh my god, something happened. Excuse me. Sorry, my oven's on, so I'm checking that real quick. I don't know if y'all heard that, but that was fucking loud. Hell, I'm not doing anything. But anyway, um, um, Magmar was supposed to have a name, but it ended up it doesn't hit the field, so that's okay. It's supposed to be grapes, as in got any grapes. Anyway, finally, we've got Barbara the Polytoad. My lead was Aromatisse and Landorus. Landorus hits a lot on this team really hard, and so I'm thinking they didn't have Fake Out either, so I'm thinking is to allow Aromatisse to get Trick Room up, what I'm gonna do is just let it happen without much support and instead provide some offensive pressure so that they don't want to double. Okay. So that is the plan at the moment. And you see I've got Gyro Ball to proc a weakness policy in Galastria. That's kind of standard. You'd expect that, but you wouldn't expect Aromatisse to have a Gyro Ball. And so then we just switch in Hans here, just because what I decided to do in this situation is that Landorus, I'm expecting a Rage Powder out of this Tangrowth, and Landorus doesn't really have much, and Jirachi famously has Ice Punch, so I do not want to get Ice Punched by Jirachi here, so I'm just switching out. I'm not expecting an Iron Head into that slot, and if it does, Glacier is just good, it'll live. So that's all fine and dandy. And yeah, nothing's bad happening. We get the switch out into Luxray though, which is a little annoying, but I know that a +1 out of the Glastrier is still gonna be fine. And then we just get Trick Room up, no problem. Um, so here's where I think Tay made a. Sorry, I think that pause there. I think that he makes a little bit of a mistake here by doing something. You'll see, but I kind of forget really that I need to get what's it called? Gyro Ball off. Which reminds me, instead of a Berry Berry, I should have been safety goggles on this Aromatisse, and that way I would have been able to get Gyro Ball off without the Rage Powder having to worry about that. But shit happens. Um so that's just a little bit of something that I should have done. And because of that, my Kingdra had the safety goggles, and instead I should have had something like Life Orb just to give it a little bit more of a damage presence. Or maybe even a Focus Sash since I didn't have that on my team. You never know. Anyway, we gotta switch out back into Jirachi. I'm not entirely sure why he's playing incredibly passive here. And if I hit a Max Quake straight into that slot, Jirachi would have just died. So I am a little confused. So that was like the first little thing. I would have expected Luxray to want to do something against Glastrier. Though, understandably, the fact that the Luxray came out on the same term that the Glacier came out, Luxray can't do shit to Glacier. It's very understandable why he doesn't want to have that position, but at the same time, he just doesn't Rage Powder at all. And instead, maybe he was sacking off the Jirachi, who knows. Anyway, I target down the Tangrowth here because I just want to kind of get rid of it. Rage Powder is a huge issue into my team, especially this part here. So the faster I get rid of this Tangrowth, the better I feel about it. And even though I'm having to only get 2 turns or 2 KOs max during my max now, just because I didn't pick up the KO because of Yachi Berry, Tangrowth, it's whatever. We do know it's very physically defensive though because of that, because for a very wide margin of Yachi Berry Tangrowths with different defensive stats, Max Hailstorm +1 still KO'd. Or maybe it was +2, and then the +1 is the one thing that did it. A little different. So right here, I'm deciding, do I want to risk, say, a Max Knuckle to take out the Tangrowth or something? What do I want to do here, really? I'm in a really weird spot. I think I'm ally switching just because I can, and to give the horse just a little bit more room. I'm just letting it happen. But yeah, I'm just really concerned about this Rage Powder, in all honesty. But I think I decided I want to do the Max Quake because the worst that can happen is that, I mean, they can't do shit to me, right? I am in a really good spot. Worst that happens is that I get a Max Quake off into the Tangrowth and it lives one more hit. But Jirachi just takes it how it is. So that is kill number 1 for the honse. And it was a little bit of a slow start, not gonna lie. But it's what happens, you know. Yachi Berry is a Yachi Berry, you can't do much about it. We're back to +2 now. And Tangrowth uses Synthesis again. I don't like that play, purely because if I did target into the Tangrowth, then it just would have died. There wouldn't be another Yachi Berry there. And Synthesis doesn't fully heal it. So if he should have just Rage Powdered, to be honest. That is my personal opinion, at least. Now, Luxray comes back out, so we're back to -1. And I'm expecting a max Luxray here, right? So I'm just going to take out the Tangrowth before it's too late, and also I expect some sort of protect from the Luxray, since he knows about my Max Quake now. So I don't want to be cycling out Intimidates again. Probably wants to protect that at all costs. Also, I'm just figuring what I want to do with Fatui here. I could switch into Barbara, but that'd be taking potentially an electric hit. I don't really want to do that. I have really nothing better to do than just hit ally switch and fuck with them, really. There's not much they can really do. So Hailstorm comes out. We get the KO into the Tangrowth here. That's kill number 2 for Glacier. And critical hit did not matter at all. And that's our Chilling Nay boost. We're back to +2 for the second time. And Firefang comes out into the Aromatisse. And it gets the burn, which does not matter, especially since I'm not using Gyro Ball very offensively. There is a situation where I would use it offensively, but that's if, say, it's -2 special attack, the Aromatisse, or I'm facing against a +2 special defense mon. Stuff like that is where I really can be considering a no attack drop Gyro Ball into something. But here, Dragonite's out. I'm expecting a protect from Dragonite, really to preserve its weakness policy, maybe, or either that. Or I'm expecting a protect. I don't remember why. Oh yeah, it was super reserved for multi-scale, but also the fact that he would have to max Luxray and go for a max Flare in order to do that. But either way, I'm expecting some sort of protect from Dragonite just to preserve it in some way, say, some case, way, shape, form, you know? And this Luxray, I'm just gonna target it down instead because of that, because I don't expect it to really be using protect here. Also, we said Drizzle, which the main thing is that I didn't think that Aromatisse had the best matchup, especially since I know Dragonite gets Iron Head. So High Horsepower comes out, gets the Luxray. Now we're +3, third kill for Glastrier. Awesome. Um, but really, what Politoed can do is that since it's at least a decent speed tier, it can either Ice Beam or what I'm going to do here is Perish Song just so that we have something. Also, I'm expecting a Max Dragonite here since he hasn't maxed at all this at this point in the game. And I'm expecting like a Max Steel Spike or something. So I'm protecting the Honse just to like stall this out a little bit. I know this is probably not the right play. I probably should have just went for the say I should have went for the Icicle Crash and just eaten the weakness policy if it had it. That's the main thing I was worried about. I was worried about the weakness policy. But we see here it's Life Orb instead. So we're not worried about that anymore. And Perish counts down to 3. Um and I don't want to take like a dragon hit, so I'm just switching that back out. And I'm just gonna hit the Icicle Crash. Which, um if it kills, it kills. If not, whatever. But he just doesn't max. Or what we'll see is he doesn't max here. He rock slides instead. We eat that like a champ. Hans is a legend. Um, and Icicle Crash just comes out, and it does hit, which is also great. And Dragonite goes down, so that's 4 for Glastrier so far. We're keeping count for a reason. And so I have a little bit to cut down here, so I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back with game 2. So I had about 3 or 4 minutes to cut down because we were having a conversation between matches, but we essentially decided, long story short, this was a match to make sure that this ended up not being like some weird forfeit. Um, Basically just to make differential easier. So I decided, I'm trying to decide what my lead should be. Because I know I want to have the same strategy of Aromatisse with Glacier in the back and Barbara in the back, but I don't know what my second should be. Should it be Great Barrier or should it be Distinguished? Um, I don't know. I decided on Great Barrier because let's give it a shot, right? But this is kind of a flaw in the sense that in the case that Tapu Fini came out, I didn't really have anything for that. And the big thing that Landers brought to the table was that Sludge Bomb to hit the Fini. So we'll see. We do get the Fini Rachi lead, so no more redirection at this point. We're fine with that. But Fatui and Great Barrier are now out together. Great Barrier is having a little bit of an issue with particularly what it does. I think I'm just gonna set Trick Room though. No reason not to. And maybe I can hit a Scald or something. If not that, then I hit, say, here I get in my Glacier, and worst case, it gets Iron Headed. It'll be like half health by the time it goes. So I think that's what I decide to do here. I don't risk Great Barrier's life at all. I just swap it out, let it be, you know? And then at the beginning of next turn, wait, no, alright, do I Scald? I do Scald, yeah. I can just do that next turn, though. So we get the Iron Head into Great Barrier, and it flinches, and that's the big thing. Because that's a 60% flinch, and yeah. But we can tell he's calling the ally switch. But we get the Trick Room off either way, so we're not too worried. At the end of the day, we got Trick Room off, setting up the Glass Shrew, and of course, we get to see the Black Sludge, and that's what the other thing I was really confused by. Why the hell is there a Black Sludge? And so instead of proccing Weakness Policy, what I decided to do is Ally Switch, because in the case that he somehow calls the Ally Switch this time, worst case, we get an Iron Head into the Glass Shrew, but it's a tank, it'll survive that, no problem, and we can just max the next turn with suboptimal health, and everything will be just fine. And at that point, we will also have Weakness Policy procced for us, so we don't need to waste a turn on that, you know? So, we're letting Fatui do its thing. And we're letting him pick his moves. So, Alex Switch comes out, no problems here. And we get the Moonblast into the Aromatisse, which is fine. Special attack fell, not so fine. And Ironhead proccing our own weakness policy, also very fine. And that's actually a very, like, no bullshit play. I do respect it. Because it wasn't calling an ally switch, but the or Ironhead would either way get, if I switch out into Glastrier, no matter where targeted, it would be solid damage. So now I'm trying to figure out what to do with Fatui, because I kind of want to play for differential at this point. I've not got a single kill of this game, but I want to play for differential, because how sick would it be to have a +8 game with a Glastrier, you know? But I eventually decided that they can't really threaten me, so I'm just gonna get this off. I'm thinking the Max Quake is probably gonna go off first before anything happens, so worst case, I get Iron-Headed into, but no, that can't happen because I'm killing the Jirachi. Worst case, I get Moonblasted into, I'm left with like 20 something health. Right. So Dazzle comes off, just a little bit of chip, not too much, but enough to make the Finny actually like have something on it, so we can check for items and such. Mainly that what's it called, the leftovers if it has it. So kill number 5 for Glacier. Yeah, we get the special defense off, no problem. And now we're at +3. And we get the Moonblast, pretty expected. And with that +1 special defense boost, right, we're left at 39 health. That is absolutely perfect. Nothing wrong with that at all. I am not worried in the slightest. Now that, but I am a little bit worried about why I have to switch in. I think I have to switch in Barber here just to take a hit because I don't want to deal with, say, a Dazzling Gleam coming from that Finny, or a Muddy Water coming from that Finny, and dealing a shitload of damage. Either way, I go into Luxray here because what is he gonna do? Protect? And I switch out to preserve differential, which is pretty simple. I should have probably sped this game up a little bit, not going line. But we're already halfway through the commentary, as is. So, anyway, Drizzle is up. No worries there. And we get to protect onto Finian, which is pretty nice, because we're not targeting it anyway. And this is a quick KO onto the Glacier, no issues at all. Um, that's kill number 6. And at this point, I felt it was the right idea for me to actually preserve differential at this point, because if I got 6 KOs, what I'm gonna probably do is kill a 7th next to Finny, and with the +4, I can launch some high horsepowers and get the KO. In worst case, I set, what's it called? Worst case, I set Perish Song, and that's what gets the final KO. And I'm not too worried about that, because just having Perish Song can just break through walls like Finny, especially if it gets like good defense boosts up. So Dragon Knife comes out, and we have one more turn left of um Trick Room. So we're gonna get the quick KO now that we know that it's not a weakness policy and it's in fact Life Orb, and then I can just Perish Song and deal with it. No worries from me at all. And yeah, this is a very, very quick cleanup. So you're just gonna, I'll let you watch it through, but that's essentially what happens. We saw that. We launched high horsepowers, and um, Perish Song is there in case. But either way, that's kill number 7 for Glacier. You're gonna watch where kill number 8 goes. That'll be suspense, but I have nothing else to say. GG Satay, though. Sorry that this wasn't too great of a match for you. I would have liked to see a max on your end, at least. Even if it was on the luxury, which I did find out was choiced. It would have been nice to just have something out of it. Maybe launch some max flares. I don't know. Either way, GG's. Let's hope for a better game for both of us next time. So that'll be it for me. You can watch the rest of the game. Peace.